Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingles.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingles here. You're listening to us on Building Fortunes Radio. It's www.buildingfortunesradio.com. If you are new, because you haven't been listening or you're just kind of forgetful, my name is Peter Mingles. We run this whole entire radio show. I started this towards the back end of 2012, beginning part of 2013, and I call it Building Fortunes Radio. Building fortunes is something that we talk about, building being that verb where you can actually build something, and a fortune. And if you kind of vision it in your mind, you might think of somebody maybe building a home or a brick wall or something like that. They kind of build it one thing at a time. So I knew that I wanted to give a platform to people doing the right things in home-based businesses, and especially the builders. So I ran across Liz and Frank Jackson, and they're from a state that I used to live in a long time ago during my Electrolux days. And when I ran across Liz, she's very dynamic, and I can tell right away she's a worker. I mean, this gal is a builder. She's not somebody who's just going to expect everybody to kind of do it on their own. She's going to dig in there with you and kind of roll up her sleeves and go to work. And I respected that about the conversation that we were having. And I said, you know what, I'd really love you guys to be guest hosts here and eventually take over your own specific spot and continue to grow. Number one, the more I learned about Liz, then also I learned about Frank with his background as well. So I'm really pleased to be able to showcase and highlight what they're doing. Probably the most important thing that I respect is, besides their knowledge, besides their previous backgrounds of success, besides of all that other sort of stuff, they're real. These are real people building real businesses right now. And they're not talking about stuff they did 100 million years ago, although they could, and they would be great things. And with large levels of success, they're talking about the things they're doing now, with people that they're helping now. So if you're looking in this, whoever knows what kind of environment or economy we're going to call it, to look for somebody who's going to be able to help be right there with you to become successful building a lifestyle that could be based on a home-based business, you want to work with Liz and Frank Jackson. Now, the group that we have, or the radio show, is called Extreme Wealth Makers. So Extreme Wealth Makers, because they're big thinkers as well. If you're interested in part-time stuff, you can do that. But if you're interested in doing something like a little bit on the bigger side and something certainly long-term, you want to work with them. So I don't know who's going to go first. Today we're going to talk a little bit about besides their background, of course, they'll give you a brief insight, but also about what they're doing specifically. So let's kick it off with whoever wants to get started first, Liz or Frank.
This is Liz. Thank you so much, Peter. Really appreciate the opportunity to share some great information with all of your listeners and hopefully help a few people to kind of shift their mindset a little bit so that they can open themselves up for the potential of creating real wealth for them, and not just for now, but for generation and creating generational wealth. So one of the things that we really start to focus on when people first start to connect with us is that mind shift, shifting your mind out of a disenfranchised, impoverished mindset where you're just living paycheck to paycheck and you're thinking about the now and what needs to be taken care of now, and thinking on a bigger scale, on a bigger picture of your future, and not just your personal future, but the future of your children and your children's children. A lot of people don't really pay attention to the fact that, you know, in order to create wealth, you've got to work with what you currently have. And we often tell people the first thing they need to do is drop their living expenses like crazy. You know, get rid of things like cable and the glorious cell phone plan, and do just a whole bunch of different things to be able to generate the money that they currently have so that they can take that money and make it work for them and create and begin to lay a foundation to be able to create wealth in. And so when people work with us, we're going to talk to them and teach them exactly different things that they need to do to be able to get the money that they need to begin to create wealth, because in order to make money, you need money. And oftentimes, especially with this pandemic that's going on, people think that, oh, I don't have the money. As a matter of fact, the other day I was talking to a young lady, and we were on a Zoom, and I was looking at her. Every time we're on a Zoom, she has a Dunkin' Donuts large coffee drink, and I said, you know, you really need to stop being afraid, and how about trading some money, doing some trading? You've been practicing and all that. Let's do some trading and make you some money. And she, oh, I'm so scared and I don't know. And I said, do me a favor. Every time I talk to you, you've got a Dunkin' Donuts coffee cup, and you always have a large. Tomorrow I want you to get a medium and take the money that you used, whatever that difference is, and I want you to trade with that, and let's see what happens. Well, she traded with 50 cents the next day and profited $210. And for many people, that $210 may not represent wealth, but it's the idea of getting out of your comfort zone and taking what you have and using that to create your wealth, and that money will build upon itself. And when you turn around and look at what all you've created in the span of a year, actually just a few months, you will see that 50 cents turned into thousands and eventually millions.
Great point. Great point. Frank?
I was listening to Liz talk, and people think all the time that they really don't have money to get started in business. But I think it's all about setting priorities right. Just like people say all the time they're renting because they cannot afford a home. And I say to them, well, you actually can't afford a home. You've been proving that for the last 20 or 30 years. You've been paying for a home. It just isn't your home. You're paying for someone else's home. And so we tend to set our sights very low, particularly when it comes to going into business. We think that we cannot afford to go into business and we cannot fund a business. But when, the really wonderful thing about network marketing is that you can find pretty much any type of business out there that you can't afford to fund. Just like Liz was talking about just a moment ago, she said, get rid of your cable, get rid of some of the frills and fancies that people have. And we can get those things back later. Right now, we shouldn't worry about cable anyway because we need to spend our time, rather than watching cable, we need to spend our time trying to amass a fortune. Right now with this, we're 2020, as I said last week, was really a brutal year for most of the world. And some people are trying to bounce back. For us, it hit us pretty hard because both Liz and myself both contracted the COVID. I found myself in the hospital fighting for my life, and thank God that I'm out. So it's been a brutal year. It's affected a lot of people monetarily or financially. But you know what it's done, though, Peter? It's created an environment. It's created an ambience where people can really make money now without having to leave home. Used to be you had to leave home to interview for a job. You had to leave home to if you were going to do business building. You had to leave home to go to meetings. Right now, you can do this. You can do it all from home, and nobody's going to look at you sideways. You can do it from home, and they particularly expect it. Not only do they expect you to deal with them virtually, doctors are doing it now, but not only do they expect it, but they actually appreciate it. They really appreciate you meeting them on video conference rather than showing up at their home, where people are afraid of contracting COVID-19. And so it has provided a great opportunity for us to go from point A to point B rather than spending $10, $20 on gas to get there and an hour of travel time. We can get there in 10 or 20 seconds with very little travel time, and we can find ourselves in a situation, guys, where we can meet with people, we can go to meetings, we can shop for business opportunities. We present our opportunities to people all the time, and some of these people may have just heard about it moments ago, and they can get into one of our meetings right away. Now, I'm going to say this and give it back to Liz. One of the things that we're finding is that when it comes to business opportunities, when it comes to generating income, we find that people are all very different. We have people who are very content with $200 extra a month. But we have other people who are looking for more like $10, $20, or $50,000 extra per month. And so, just so you know, guys, we can help you at any level. It doesn't matter to us whether you want $200 a month or an additional $200,000 for the year or for the month, for that matter. We can help you.
And the thing with this is this. The truth of the matter, and I'm not trying to smack you in the face or anything, but you can't invest in yourself. You can't invest in an opportunity unless you have money to invest. So if you're currently living beyond your means and have no additional money to put to work for you, you're never going to build wealth. So then if you don't have the money because you're paycheck to paycheck, then you have to create that money with what you have. Creating that money with what you have, like I said before, could be something as simple as changing your beverage size. It could be, changing from the Premier package with DirecTV to the basic package. Either way, you have to want it. If you're hungry, if you are sick and tired of your day-to-day grind, if you're sick and tired of your boss and you want to fire your boss and create a business for yourself, guys, let us help you. We are here to do that. We believe in education. Education is the key to making real changes and creating money for yourself. So we will teach you how to do things like investing. Peter and I had this great talk, and we were talking about all the different rabbit holes that we have in common. And one of the things that we talked about was the status of the U.S. currency and how important it is for people to become financially literate. Cryptocurrency is something that's important for everybody to know about. So we want to teach you all about it. We want to teach you guys how to invest. We want you to know what a Bitcoin is. We want you to know what commodities are. This isn't just about investing, though, at least investing in the markets. It's about investing in yourself so that you can have a solid future.
Liz, you were talking about cutting back on your DirecTV, and I don't want to beat a dead horse on ways people can fix their financial woes when it comes to investing in business. But when I was trying to some years ago come up with money to start a business, people were spending $200 or more on a pair of sneakers. I went to Walmart and got a pair of sneakers for $13.95, I believe. It could have been $13, but 13 something for a pair of sneakers. And we all kind of did the same things with whatever they could do with their sneakers, I could do with mine. I think when people get away from thinking that things have to be impressive, they have to impress their neighbors. When they get away from that, I think that they will find that there is money. I want to say this, and I don't know if I said this last week, but if you have a tenacity, you can pretty much make anything work. Now, some years ago, I wanted to start a business, but I really didn't have any money. So I had to figure out the best way for me at that particular time. I didn't even have $100, but I borrowed $350. And I took that $350 and invested it. And I went to work. I'm telling you, I worked like my life depended on it, because it did. But that was in March. And 9 months later, at the end of the year, that $350 had turned into over $300,000. And all I'm saying is, where there's a will. My mother used to always tell us, where there's a will, there's a way. And if you have a determination, if you have a tenacity, you'll find a way to make it happen.
I highly recommend, if you really want to build wealth, then venture into entrepreneurship. Become your own boss. When I became an entrepreneur, my wealth building journey really took off. I had a great job. I was very young, making $75,000 a year, plus I had 1% override commission on everything that the company was doing. I was general manager of a major grocery store, and that particular grocery store that I was the general manager for brought in between $350,000 and $500,000 a week. My commission check, my quarterly commission check yearly was over far and above what my salary was. But I walked away from all of that for entrepreneurship because I discovered that I could work just as hard. Actually, I didn't have to work as hard for myself as I was working for that grocery chain, working 70, sometimes 80-hour weeks. And so, guys, I'm excited that that we can offer you all an opportunity to become entrepreneurs. I remember after reading the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it was just an epiphany for me because I realized when I read it I was an employee and I had a choice to continue to be an employee or I could be an employer. And I chose the position of an employer, and it has just been smooth sailing for me ever since, and I would love the opportunity to help you all shift your mindset into entrepreneurship, shift your mindset and get the education that you need to invest in yourself for your own wealth.
Perfect.
When you think about it, Peter, were you saying something?
I was going to say, let's take our commercial break, and then let's continue your thought. And so we'll be right back. You're listening to Liz and Frank Jackson. Here we go.
Thanks for listening to Building Fortunes Radio. If you sell a product or service, then you should check out PM Marketing's NetworkLeads.com. Just visit www.networkleads.com. For over 18 years, PM Marketing has helped distributors build their home-based businesses through lead generation, website development, automated email delivery systems, and sales training. If you're looking for a way to increase your skills and increase the number of people that see your product or opportunity, NetworkLeads.com can help. To learn more, visit www.networkleads.com. Ask about their lead management system, capture pages, personalized website, MLM training, Humongous blog, the Humongous Classified Ad Network, Building Fortunes Radio, or their webinar schedule. NetworkLeads.com can be your one-stop shop for everything you need. And now, back to our show.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingles here, and you're listening to Frank and Liz Jackson. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier during my introduction, I was super-duper proud of them. I've spent, a pretty good portion of my adult lifetime creating the platform to be able to give them the microphone so they can have the voice to be able to talk to you. And if you're listening in, if you just kind of re-listen to this all over again, you're just going to find, discipline and caring and personalization and knowledge and different levels of philosophy and psychology. You'll learn all of those things could benefit you if you're here. And I could have jumped in a million times and commented positively on anything that has been spoken so far, so I have to mute myself out so I don't do that, only because it's their radio show. But I just love listening to this, and if you're looking for people that you can go work with and can help you bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be, you want to work with Frank and Liz. So Frank, back to you.
Peter, thank you so much, first of all. Liz and I both believe in education, but we believe in education for the right reasons. What I have observed over the years is people will go to college, and you'll find, let's say, two young men going to the same university, and they're in the same classes, same professors, and they're studying the very same thing. They invest the same amount of time into that education, into college, but they can be there for two very different reasons. One will be there because he wants to posture himself to get an incredibly good job, and that's what you hear people talk about. Go to school, get a good education, and get a great job. And that's pretty much what most of mainstream America goes to school for, to position themselves to get a great job. But you have that person coming through there every now and then who's sitting in the same classrooms with you, same lectures, same professors, but their mindset is very different. They're there not to get a good job, but to start a business, to own a business, and to hire you to work for them. So, again, you have two people going to the same school, same time, same investment, same amount of money, same tuition, but one is going there to get to run a business, and the other one is now bragging to, after he graduates, he's bragging to all of his friends and family that I've got a real hookup, man. I've got this guy. I went to school with him, and he's going to give me a great job. And he's really proud of that, and he hasn't thought about it for one moment that I could be the one giving out the job. I mean, we went through the same things. Our experience educationally is exactly twin. And so what am I thinking?
What am I thinking? And they probably didn't read Rich Dad Poor Dad like I did, and so and a lot of us out here that are listening, we are very familiar with the Rich Dad Poor Dad and the four quadrants, and the two that really matter, at least they matter to me, and I believe it should matter to you. The if you want to build wealth, the quadrants are either going to be that of a business owner or of the investor. The investor quadrant is actually the best, and that's why with education we teach you how to be an investor. If you want to invest in the most lucrative industry, which is the foreign exchange industry, $7.3 trillion daily, not weekly, monthly, or yearly. Daily. This is where the banks go to make their billions, guys. We teach you how to trade as a foreign exchange trader. We teach you how to dig into cryptocurrency and trading cryptocurrency and making money with that. We will teach you how to trade commodities if that's the route you want to go. A day trader, swing trader, all different types. And I don't want to throw out all the different types because a lot of people really, I'm speaking a different language to them right now, but it's okay because everyone has to start somewhere. The young lady I talked about, she entered an 8 days to trade course that we offered, and in 8 days she learned the basics for a beginner in trading. And the truth is that if it were up to me, on her day 10 or 11, she would have been trading, but she was afraid, and so she didn't. It took her 3 weeks to finally get out of her comfort zone and trade 50 cents. Well, I'll tell you, after she did that, she has, when I spoke to her yesterday, she was so excited. She sent me a message. She goes, "Oh my gosh, I just made $400. And I said, "That's awesome. How long were you in the trade?" And she said, "I was only in it for 5 minutes, but I made $400. And that was awesome. And she just took an 8-day course, guys. This is something that is available to you. This is part of what we offer. We teach you to trade. But the other side of that quadrant is that of a business owner. And I honestly believe from my own experience that multi-level marketing, network marketing is the way to go. You can really generate a lot of money, residual passive income as a network marketer, somebody that does an MLM company, and we actually offer that to you as well. And what I absolutely love is you don't have to trade. You don't have to do network marketing. You can do them both or one. It doesn't really matter. What does matter is that you're willing to put in the work, that you're willing to allow to be open for a mind shift so that you can open yourself up to the education that it takes to really generate wealth for yourself.
You know, I was thinking about something. Some years ago, many years ago, I kind of tapped into a book. I discovered a book written by Thomas Stanley and William Danko, both PhDs. And the book was called The Millionaire Next Door. I found out so much about millionaires that I didn't know. And I'm saying this because, guys, I want you to start thinking about the possibilities of becoming a millionaire. Don't just try to make ends meet. Don't just try to get that water bill paid or that light bill paid. But, we're here to offer you an opportunity to change your life entirely. You may not know it, but there are more millionaires being created in this point in time than at any time in the history of our nation. We have more millionaires being created now than any time before. But here's the thing. There are more millionaires being created in America who do not speak English than there are who do. I said that to say there are people who come to the U.S. believing this to be the promised land. They come here believing it, they act on it, and it happens. We hear all the time, if you believe it, you can achieve it. And so if you can start, as Liz said, shifting your thinking and start thinking in a direction of changing your life completely, I mean really changing it completely and start thinking like a millionaire. I think if you start thinking like a millionaire, you will become one. I'll say this, and then I'll get back out of the way. But I come from a kind of a pretty tough background. I'm the son. Actually, I'm the grandson. I'm the grandson of a sharecropper. His grandfather was a slave. And I grew up with my mother raising 5 children by herself. We lived in an apartment. When I think back on that apartment now, there were 6 of us living in that apartment, and we only had 1 bedroom in the apartment. And, God has blessed us because I've been able to change my thinking. Liz has been able to change her thinking. And we've actually changed our thinking. We think like people with wealth, and we have become very successful in doing that. And so now when I look at it, I'm actually sitting in my bedroom right now. And in sitting in my bedroom right now, my bedroom has a huge closet that's larger than my closet's much larger than the bedroom, and in that 1-bedroom apartment. My bathroom is twice the size of that 1-bedroom in that 1-bedroom apartment, and my total bedroom is larger than the entire 1-bedroom apartment that I lived in at that time. What I'm saying to you guys, if you can just only think successful, you can be successful.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Peter. I look forward to speaking to a lot of you about what we can do to help you create wealth, and talking a lot more about our specific opportunity next week, and giving you guys an opportunity to join us.
Excellent. We're going to make sure that you have guest pages, so those people listening in, if you go to buildingfortunesradio.com/Extreme Wealth Makers, so Extreme Wealth Makers, you'll be able to find this as well as the other radio shows that we've done. And also if you look on the guest page for Liz Jackson or Frank Jackson or Extreme Wealth Makers, you'll be able to find that there as well with their contact information. So Liz, real quick, do you want to give contact information out? We got about a minute.
Sure thing. If you'd like, I can just give my number. Is that what
Absolutely.
you Sure thing. So the best number to reach me would be area code 630-673-7900. Again, that's 630-673-7900.
Excellent. You can text her there as well. And by the way, if you get a voicemail, she's busy. So leave a message and she will call you back. We're going to catch everybody next week on Building Fortunes Radio. Thanks, Liz and Frank Jackson, for being here. We'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the designated Building Fortunes Radio segment with Peter Mingles. Be sure to check out the buildingfortunesradio.com website for our featured segments. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. At Building Fortunes Radio, we wish you the success you deserve and are willing to work for. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.